Hi everybody, Darren Hite here. Welcome. I almost said welcome to my review. I'm not doing reviews tonight. We're going to do some training on Expert Secrets book, and I'm excited. I'm not trying to push a book on you, but it's something that I have passion for, and it changed my way of being an entrepreneur in the network marketing. And I thought if I could show you guys what I learned and put it in my words, I could help some people out. And if I sell a book or two, I just make $1, I think, per book. But anyway, guys, moving forward. In the last video, we talked about the spark. Creating a spark on becoming a dreamer, a charismatic leader. We talked about how, you don't have to be a born leader. A lot of people, they have the perception of being a born leader, and you don't. You just need to learn to be one. And by being that, you dive into something, your passion. What's your passion? What's your superpower? You love to cook. Check that out. Check that. We call it a niche. Check it out. Who's creating things to cook or recipes to sell, and dive into it. Find those people that cook and are passionate about it, and follow them, and if you have a spark in that, follow. And we talked about, it's almost if you have that voice inside you telling you you're not adequate, that's true for every successful entrepreneur, and just use that to power yourself forward. We talked about Russell and how I tried to create some credibility for him, and this book is his journey, and he's sharing this book with us to change our lives. And then the last paragraph of the last chapter, we talked about maybe you're a good piano player, fixing motorcycles, building chicken coops, dancing, or something else. Look at what comes easily to you and what you love to geek out on, and chances are that is your superpower. So anyway, in a nutshell, you can do this. Why? Because you don't have to be born a leader. You just need how to learn to become an expert, or should I say a charismatic leader. And even an introvert could do this. I'm an introvert. Russell Brunson is an introvert. And so a lot of lives out there are waiting on you to change their lives. So you need to use your gifts, your God-given talents, to help them. So then the phase 2 we're going to talk about, that was a recap on the last one, is becoming the identity of a reporter. Now Russell talks about how he met a guy who was a speed reader, and he reads like, don't quote me like that. He read the .com or Expert Secrets or .com Secrets book in like 4 minutes, and then Russell, interviewed him, and he explained everything what he read. And he also talked to him about one thing Russell learned from this experience with him, that this guy would grab books on the same topic he wanted to learn about, and he'd form an opinion. So that's what I'm talking to you about, is to start learning everything about your topic, whatever your superpower is, and create a framework. And this is how he goes about doing this. And he talks about he goes to live events for example, if you want to be a network marketer, I was going to say cook because I love cooking, but my niche ain't cooking, but it's network marketing. So I went to live events about the industry I want to create an offer for. I became friends with people that are successful in this niche. Now, one thing you have to be careful. Make sure you follow that person that's legit, that gives a lot of value. Is a very person with good integrity. He also says start your own podcast, and I'll read this. I'd go into depth about why to start your own show in traffic. Now he talks about how he wants to go in depth in his book Traffic Secrets. Now if you start a podcast, a lot of people, now you need to write this down, a lot of successful gurus will accept your interview. Why? Because if you plug their name, it puts them out there. You can tell their stories in front of your viewers. So you will not have no problem doing a podcast, even if you do an interview on a blog. He talks about launching a summit funnel. And he says, in .com Secrets, we talk about the power of the summit funnel. And this basically, I have not done a summit funnel personally. It's also an amazing way to interview the top experts in your field. So this is really simple, but yeah, and you're probably thinking, how do I get in touch with all these people? You Facebook, friend them, do everything you can. I mean, I guess you stalk them. Just kidding. But a lot of people, if you're building a business, will talk to you and interview you. Why? Because you use their knowledge and you plug them. You'll be surprised how easy it is to get to know them. So now you're shifting from growth. Once you figure out what niche you are, what's your passion, what's your superpower, now from my personal opinion, I got into this business. I thought I would reinvent the wheel. I thought I had this idea, but I wasn't being a reporter. I just heard what to do and I just did it, and I thought I did it the way I think it ought to be done. My suggestion to you, I spent 10 years probably doing that. What you need to do is plug into that very successful person that you feel is building this business in your niche with integrity and doing it right, and he's making a lot of money. Don't reinvent the wheel. Take everything he knows, ingest it, and create your own framework. Don't copy. I think I mentioned this in the last video. But this is when you start putting the muscle into it, the work, the footwork, into getting ready to, you're getting close to contribute. So the first two phases of this is personal growth. Now, Russell says here that's how the first two phases of personal growth, that's how it typically starts. We get excited about a topic and we start geeking out. We learn, read books, study example, listen to podcasts, and consume a lot of information. Next, we put on our reporter hat and interview the people we have been learning from to get customized answers to our questions. Now, there's only so long you can do this, because if you consume, you bring in information, there's only so long you can do that. If you keep doing it, I promise you'll burn out. Why? Because most of us were in this to be successful. Now I'm talking straight to those entrepreneurs out there that want to get in to make money, not to a hobbyist. I'm not talking to hobbyists. To make money, to be home with their families more hours of the day, not be away from the families, to create a legacy for their children. When they die, they have options, better options. I'm talking to those people. So you can only be a reporter so long. I promise, if you get addicted to that. And I met people, I went to meetings to learn to be that reporter, and I met a lot of people, and that's what they do. They just go around, they pay for the meetings, and they ingest, but they're not contributing. Now, okay, so now that word of warning, right? So then I was going to read another thing that Russell said. As I became aware of details that made them work, I was able to better teach them, and the kids started. Now, Russell says, I left one part, I forgot. He was a wrestler, an all-state wrestler. When a coach asked him to help him teach some kids, and he was a great wrestler, but he started teaching these kids, and he had a hard time knowing how to teach them. So he started studying how and what was the reaction ways to, and he realized that he broke down his framework and started a different way to teach him. And he said it was a process all in itself. Everything he learned was hard to teach his kids, but he had to break it down and learn how to teach them, even though he knew a lot. So then that's a phase you'll go through. So this was an easy one tonight. We talked on a recap. We talked this phase of becoming a reporter. And after becoming a reporter, it's time to contribute. Time in the next video, we're going to talk about creating your framework for your niche. We'll go a little deeper into how to teach, how to create. This is when we get into the really, like step 1, create your framework hypothesis. And we're going to get into that a little more deeper. What's really cool about the new rewritten book, he goes into a lot of it's a little similar, and he goes into a lot of areas that in the last book I thought he would have touched on a little more. So really cool. So it's almost time to contribute. I don't know where you guys are at now with your business. And I've come to realize over the years when I was building my network marketing business, I was in MLMs, did a lot of stuff, and I realized I was missing something. And I was missing a recap on a few videos ago. This is what I was missing. I was missing those 3 things on a creative movement. We can't have, without the movement, those people following us, we can't make a living or money, right? Those 3, becoming an expert guide, and create that new opportunity and have a future-based cause for your movement. Now, but anyway, I think I'm done with that, wearing that reporter's hat, and that's pretty simple. And if there's any questions, guys, if any of you guys see this video, ask below and I could clear it up. So in the next video, we're going to talk of phase 3, building your own framework. And every big house, every big company, has a framework. And without that framework, a strong framework, it won't hold your roof, and it will crumble and fall. And I'm speaking to you from experience. So anyway, I want to go further into this, but with lack of time and losing interest, I will see you guys on a review or in the next training video. You guys have a great night.